LA. And we also have Andrea Nunn, Senior Vice President of the Entrepreneurship and Innovation team here at the Chamber. So feel free to ask your questions. We don't really have any presentations, as you all noticed. We were already in the plenary session offering you information from Facebook, Ricardo also from being shared. So we're just here to answer your questions. What do you want to learn? I see Diane here came off of mute. You have a question for us. Thank you, Angela, for turning on your camera. It's so nice to see a face. So many of you have your cameras off. We have a lot of people here. Please be sure to come off of mute. Hi, Patty.
It looks like we do have a question, which is probably for the chamber.
You're okay, Lisa. Thank you so much for asking your question. I should have been looking at the chat. Thanks, Lemicia. I'm wondering if anyone works with Ventura County businesses or just LA County. No, we do not work just with LA County. We work across the region. And Andrea, feel free to come off of mute and answer that question if you'd like.
Thank you, Alejandra. Yes, the work that we do is really to seek out and connect with opportunities across the region. And the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce and the work that we do in 1LA is really across all 5 counties: Ventura, Los Angeles, Orange County, Riverside, and San Bernardino. And also in our work, we also seek out opportunities in support of our small businesses statewide as well as federally. So we really look for opportunities everywhere.
And then I would say from a Facebook perspective, we're county agnostic because we're really about like what's the service you provide within the area we need it. So counties don't matter to us.
And I went ahead and added the 1LA website on here if you'd like to take a look. We are revamping our websites. If you see a few things move around from one day to the next, that's because we're updating it. Just an FYI. And for the 1LA program, we are currently in our training program. It is cohort number 2. Last year in cohort number 1, we actually were awarded about a little over 10 million in contracts. So if you are interested in the training program, please be sure to reach out. I will go ahead and add in the chat where you can sign up for cohort number 3, which is scheduled to start next year in February. And then I will also add our email address on there so that you can reach out to ask any more questions. You want to learn more about the training? Sure, not a problem. So we take on a 3-phased approach during our training. And in phase 1, we basically accept as many businesses as possible. We'll take on about 500 if possible. And in phase 1, we have, it's a virtual boot camp. And so we have orientation, then we have 4 classes, and then you have completed phase 1. In phase 1, we go over everything from finding opportunities, where in state and federal and local sites you can sign up to, take a look at what opportunities are out there. We go over your capability statement, your capabilities presentation. And there's a lot that we go over in these classes. It is 2 hours in length, and then there is a homework assignment. So yes, there is a lot of work in our training program. And then in phase 2 and 3, we don't take all of the businesses. We go over an assessment to make sure that you are actually ready to move on to phase 2 and 3. And in phase 2 and 3, we have consultants where we pair you with, and so they're finding opportunities for you, and they will help you bid on an opportunity if there is something that your business is interested in. You're just one person, very small business with 0 experience in contracting. Lisa, feel free to sign up. And this is not besides the training, we also have events. So we have doing business with events. And then we also have our partners that we reach out to for additional training, some trainings as little as, what does a certificate even mean? Why do you have to get certified with things like that? So feel free to contact us and we will help you out, Lisa. You've done some work, Lisa, with PTAC, which is very helpful. Yes. And we work really closely with LA County. They are a partner in PTAC. We're actually working together right now to create a roadmap for a lot of our small business owners to make sure that they have access to learning more about contracting. So I'm glad you're on the right track, Lisa. And Ricardo, maybe I should ask you a question. As a small business owner, what would you recommend to these small businesses that know nothing about contracting? Where did they start?
Ooh, that's a great question. And I know the feeling. I was there, 3 years ago. I think you have to educate yourself, but I will underscore, support the notion that you have to get certified. Just go ahead. If you're serious about building your business, which I know you are, that's why you're in business, pay the $400 or whatever it is now to become certified. It's a lot of paperwork. But it's a hurdle that you just need to do it. Because more and more businesses are becoming certified. So to me, that is table stakes. You need to be certified to stand out, to give yourself, an opportunity and to, just get into the game. That is the game. That is the bar now. Then I would just say you have to learn about each individual company's policies and programs, et cetera, and just spend time with it, and I would suggest that you pick, 3 to 5 companies that you feel like you're a really good fit for, and you have to be brutally honest with yourself. If you're an extremely small business and you do, you provide this service, you may not be a great fit for a huge corporation right now. But even, I think Lisa mentioned that she's a one-person shop. That's okay. You can absolutely engage and keep engagements going, and then grow your business, in with other clients, and then come back to Facebook when you're a little larger. I will say one of the things that many enterprise businesses look for is that ability to scale. So they want to know that if we hire this small business, can they handle the amount of work that we will eventually give them? So it's really, it can be very frustrating if you're small, because you want to get these larger contracts and engagements, but you kind of can't, because you can't handle this enterprise level of work. So I would suggest to absolutely be strategic and have a program in place to engage enterprises, but also build up your book of business with smaller entities as well, and so that you can present yourself as a business, even if it's small, but present yourself as a business who has experience with other clients, and that you have this ability to scale. So I would just say keep those things in mind when you're engaging and when you're learning, but you just have to put in the time to research, to learn, and it can be very confusing. But that's okay. Don't let it discourage you. Over time, you'll understand it. And then I will also say that many corporations are now paying for suppliers to get certified, and they are giving suppliers or potential suppliers opportunities to learn, to attend webinars. So, there's books out there. Really, it's intimidating, but you have no excuse. So as a small business owner, you just have to invest in yourself and in this process.
It's a business literacy that's very important, right? We need to, as business owners, we need to educate ourselves. And Lamicia, a question for you. So Ricardo just mentioned that a lot of these businesses are actually paying for businesses to get certified. Is Facebook doing anything like that?
Yeah, we do have a program where for suppliers who meet a certain amount of spend threshold for us, that we do reach out to them and talk to them about, have you considered certification? Would you be interested in it? And then we have consultants that help suppliers get certified. Again, the reason why we don't require certification is because, like, to Ricardo's point, like, it's time consuming, it takes a lot of time. But we highly encourage it because of the opportunities that it brings for a business. And I know Lisa was asking, like, what certification. So Ricardo was referring to a certification by the National Minority Supplier Development Council, which certifies minority-owned businesses. There are so many certifications, and again, there are local certifications. So we just encourage suppliers, find out which one fits for you at this moment in time for your company. Because to Ricardo's point, like, understanding contracting is so important, and it's usually those certification agencies or organizations like the chamber who are putting you in front of the corporations, and that's where you can ask the tough questions about, like, what is your contracting process, or you can hear them specifically talk about their contracting process. So yeah, we at Facebook, we do have a program. It's a select number of suppliers that we're working with currently around that, and our goal is, even though we pay for the first year and we pay for the consultant to help them, that eventually they see the value in the certification and then they pay for it moving forward. So that's our goal. Like, we'll start you, but then we also want you to see the value, and that value really comes in participating in the programming. And then you can become a business mentor, and you can, be on the panels as well with people. So it's also, think of it as an investment for your business, in terms of thinking about how you can be a leader in your industry or within the different diversity categories you represent.
Thank you so much for sharing, Lamicia, and that is great information. A lot of small businesses don't realize how the benefits of being in contracting until they get that somebody lends them a hand, right? So thank you so much for sharing that. There is another question here from Don in the chat. He mentions here a lot of certifications that they currently have: WOSB, DBE, SBE, MBE, WBE. Do you accept any of these certifications, Amicia?
Yeah, so we look for our categories. So WOSB would be considered a women-owned business, so we would still accept that certification. We don't specifically accept small business certifications. So that's the one caveat I would say to what we accept. But if you have a certification that certifies you as a minority, racial or ethnic minority, women, LGBTQ, veteran, or disabled, we are accepting those. And that's what we call private as well as public. So again, your local municipalities, federal, state certifications, CPUC, we accept it, as well as, NMSDC, WeBank, et cetera.
Thank you, Lamicia. And there's another question in the chat here from Corey, and this would be for both Lamicia and Andrea. Are there any opportunities in construction in quality management with the Chamber and Facebook?
I'm gonna go to Andrea and then I'll.
So because the Chamber kind of represents all opportunities in the region, certainly there are numerous construction quality management opportunities at the county, the city, the both public and private. The way to access those opportunities now is very similar to, kind of looking at the Facebook opportunities, where you reach out through their portals, you get registered, you get the certifications, and in particular for, let's say, the county, they have their platform which posts all opportunities that are available in all areas. And as you heard in the plenary session, Shannon Hoppus is the Chief Procurement Officer for the City of Los Angeles, and their platform is called Babin. So when you go to those sites, they are the procurement portals for the city and the county, and they offer up those opportunities that you can then apply to. Lamicia?
And then I'd say from a Facebook perspective, so construction is a hot topic for us. I think it was last week we announced that we were building a data center in Nevada. That may not be right, maybe Phoenix, but sorry, Arizona. I think it's actually Arizona. So But so data centers are where you see a lot of our construction. We do have general contractors that we work with, but we have been building a relationship with those general contractors to try to get more tier 2 opportunities where there aren't tier 1 opportunities for suppliers. So I am not aware of any LA based, but if your construction company is one where you have a scope that's beyond LA, then I would encourage you to certainly connect with our team, like book a spotlight appointment with us. And then that way you can connect with us and tell us more about what you do. You know, the trade specific things, you don't have to do GC. There are certain elements of what happens. And I would say, again, like think about data centers, think about office buildings and what you can supply specifically within that construction trade that would make you an appealing supplier to us.
And let me see, let's see, Corey, can you speak to how to book a spotlight meeting, please?
Yeah, certainly. So literally go to Facebook. So facebook.com/FB supplier diversity. And there's a button that says book now. If you're an Instagram person, go to Facebook supplier diversity on Instagram and you'll see a button that says book now. And you can literally book that appointment. That's the easiest way to book an appointment with us.
And really quickly, let me see, is that the registration form? I'm seeing Facebook suppliers. It says registration form. I clicked on it. Is that the one?
So it should be facebook.com/supplier/diversity/enroll. Y'all, we did not choose these URLs. They would be so much simpler if we did. But yes, if you go to our main webpage, there's a button at the top that says like register now. Or if you use that that long chain of URL that I just mentioned, then yes, that's how you register with us. That's just how to register your company. That's not booking us a spotlight. Again, if you book a spotlight and it says register, but you've already gone and done the enrollment, don't worry about doing it because it actually won't let you. And I should give you a caveat. There's something wrong with our registration. So if you get an error, just email us supplierdiversity@fb.com and we'll let you know when it's up. So just a note that I'm actually seeing pings now about our registration form being down. So
thank you for mentioning that, Lemicia. If you don't mind adding in the chat the email address, just to make sure that everyone reaches out to the correct email address. I'm looking at the application now, and it's actually a fairly easy form, about a page and a half. So that's great. If you haven't done so already, try to fill it out. And if not, email and Lemicia's going to add it here. Angela Gordon, you are a small women-owned business, certified video production company, and you do a lot of narrative content and have been doing videos for small local businesses. Even with COVID-19, it seems like the small or even medium-sized opportunities with the municipals lately are contracted out to the larger firms, even with the shift to more businesses using visual and video development platforms to do business. So can you speak a little bit, and Lemicia, on the types of things that you're looking for when hiring video production services?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. There are a number of organizations internally that are working on like creative production services. So not only are you diverse, also they're also looking at like the composition of your employees as well. And so like, is your workforce diverse? But in terms of capabilities, you know, like where are you based? Like, do you offer studio? Do you not? What are your COVID-19 protocols? Especially now as we still have not returned to the office, making sure that the safety of, you know, whoever is participating in the shoot, you know, are you doing long form? Are you doing short form? Are you doing commercial? Like, what are your categories of production? And just being able to have a very strong reel or you know, a capabilities statement so people can see what your work, your body of work. Those are really important for our team. Marketing, as you can imagine, is very visual, and especially video production. So being able to provide all of that is important.
Thank you, Lemicia. And there's another question here from Don. Does Facebook have a need for health and safety mitigations for your offices to maintain safe working environments for the staff and visitors?
Yes. So as I just mentioned, we haven't fully return to office. We were actually slated to do full return to work in October. That's since been pushed back to 2022. For people who work in the event space, that was probably not the greatest news that we wanted, because that also means that in-person events have also been just like pushed back again. But I will say Facebook has done a tremendous job of putting the health and safety of employees first. You know, we were one of the first few companies to just put everyone on work from home status. I'm based out of the Austin office, and so recently the number of hospital beds became down to a dwindling number again, and so we actually put everyone back in Austin. We had started to do voluntary return to the office. Now everyone in Austin is back to work from home, and so just really monitoring what's happening across within each state, within each city, to make sure that we're making the best decisions for employees. And actually visitors, as far as I know, are suspended. So we do not allow visitors on our campus at this point. And so we will continue to like follow state and local guidelines to determine how we will return back, when we'll return back, and then when visitors will be allowed on campus. And then, as I mentioned, like in terms of business as usual, when it comes to certain things that have to get done, we still have to do production shoots, etc. So following safety protocols. So just last week, I oversaw a video shoot and just making sure that people were vaccinated if they could, wore masks, etc. Those were all the protocols and safety things that we put into place.
And we have about 5 minutes left, so be sure to send in any additional questions that you may have in the chat. Let me see. I have someone here asking about the beautiful artwork on your wall. If you don't mind sharing, you know, where you get these beautiful designs.
Yeah, I don't mind. So I'll move over here so people can see it. So this is actually completed. Oh no, that's right. My portal will move. So let me go back. So this is actually created. Let me see if I go back. Created by an artist that does murals for Facebook, Beth Consetto-Rubel, who does murals for Facebook but is an artist. And so it's called the Brown Paper Bag Test Series. These are 3 gentlemen that inspire me and the work that I do. And it was just very important for me to support minority women-owned businesses just as much as I do at work, but in my personal life. So these were just perfect to have as my office art.
I actually found them. Did I add that correct?
Yep,
in the chat?
That's the right one. Yeah.
There you go. We don't just, you know, give you advice on small businesses and contracting, but we can talk to you about artwork too.
Yeah.
And so again, I went ahead and added in the chat how you can go ahead and apply to be in cohort number 3 for the 1LA training program, which is scheduled to start in February. Lamicia, Ricardo, Andrea, thank you so much for being here and answering all of the questions. We have a few more minutes. Okay, Thomas, what opportunities do you have for a hub zone law office who advises businesses and nonprofits and provides estate and financial services to families? That would be for you, Lamicia.
Yeah, so I think that one might be a little bit like may not be the best fit for us, quite honestly, just because of who you're targeting. So while we do work with nonprofits, like that's not necessarily our focus. But I think if you were to provide, you know, I think it's more of like, what are you doing on the estate and financial services side? And like, is that a benefit that could go to our employees? That would be the angle that I would say you could pursue. That's not my category, so I don't know enough. I know enough to be dangerous to tell you to investigate that. But I think that would be, you know, where if there is any opportunity, certainly we do have legal needs, but that's so niche that I think I'd have to hear a little bit more or have like one of our category managers hear a little bit more to advise you like whether or not there is a fit there.
Thank you.
I think another area of opportunity is to take a look at what the County of Los Angeles is looking for in their social enterprise programs, because I think this could be a good fit for some of the work that the county does with nonprofits and companies who are serving nonprofits.
Thank you so much for sharing, Thomas. You keep coming on. He keeps coming off of me just to thank you both for answering his question. So that is time. Yes, thank you again, Jessica. What other breakout sessions do they all have access to join later on today?
I'm pulling up the schedule right now. So next, the next breakout sessions are about navigating LABAVN and how to do business with the city of LA, or do corporate and government buyers trust you? Impress them with a continuity statement, capital for construction. And then we have a bunch this afternoon about the Center in Lendistry, how to assess your contract and business readiness, how to do business with the California state government, succession planning strategies and tips, and a whole lot more coming up. So definitely check out the full schedule that you have in your in the Business Builder Eventia platform. You'll see everything that's coming up and you can kind of choose what you want to log into. And thanks so much for coming to this workshop today, everyone.
And on behalf of the LA Area Chamber of Commerce, Facebook, and also Bien, thank you so much for participating here today. For the Chamber, I went ahead and added in the chat the link to our calendar, our community calendar and our Chamber calendar. You can see multiple events that we have happening to assist our small businesses. There are multiple grants also out there, so be sure to sign up. The California Relief Grant is coming up, so be sure to sign up. I just found out earlier this morning, someone actually sent me a message and said they won 15,000. So be sure to sign up, everybody.
Yay.
Enjoy the rest of the sessions, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.